I have broken 4 phone screens and then I realized I had to do something about my anger. Yes, I do have anger issues and I discovered it recently, I think about 4 5 years back, and then I realized I was a bit of angry child as well. And there are not many incidents that I remember, but at the places where I was not able to communicate, I used to deal it with anger, and that became part of my personality. It was an interesting observation which I had, that when I went to IIT, that is when the anger kind of stopped, because I was not in very close proximity with loved ones, and that is where I became the super calm person. Nobody would even guess that I have anger issues. Fast forward to Mumbai, wherein I made close friends, and that is when the anger popped up again. And I was like surprised that how this could have happened. That is where I realized that anger is part of my personality and I accept it now. So yes, I'm Dev Purbia and welcome back to my channel Lost and Found, Navigating Life Made Beautifully Easy. So today I'll talk about how I navigate my life with anger which I have at times. Animals or as humans, we have anger as a part of our basic emotion palette. Like if there was no anger, it would be no fun as well. Our life will be a bit weird. What if you were just happy all the time? That would be funny, right? So, anger is a part of our basic functioning mechanism. It is a part of fight and flight response, and a bit of anger is good for you. But when you start hurting people around you or something, then obviously you should seek professional help, because then you are probably not doing good. And in my case, I was hurting my phones, and yeah, then I switched to iPhone and I realized, okay, the screens are too expensive. I need to do something about anger, then breaking the screen. How the transition happened. Like, first thing which I would talk about is that initially when I got these anger episode, the first stage I went in was actually denial, that this does not belong to me. So when you come across a negative feeling which you have and you go in denial, you are actually creating a constant friction. As in, that is the feeling I used to get, because anger in itself is considered a negative emotion in our society. And when I was not owning it, I was creating more negative emotions around it, like guilt, or it could be shame, so things of those sort, and I was not even addressing it at all. So gradually what I started doing was accepting that okay, I do have anger and it's a part of the emotion palette that I have. So I'll give a simple example. When you are growing up as a kid, whatever emotion or experiences you went through, it is a part of your stored personality, right? You might have covered it up with some positive attitude and stuff, but if you've not addressed it, it will pop up at times, and then you'll be like, oh, this is not who I am. Then you're constantly fighting another battle. Whereas when you say that okay, this is something that is part of my personality, okay, I'm going to address it now. So the first step for me, at least at that point, was acknowledging that it's a part of the experiences that I've had and it's a part of the personality. Because as I mentioned, a lot of times what was happening was the anger could pop out in different situations, but it was not necessarily related to the people and event that were happening at that point. Because as I said, if you have emotions or experiences stored from your childhood, they will change the way you respond to different situations. That becomes your new normal in a way. Like, and whether you like it or not, that could be your body's response to different stimuli. So this is where I realized, okay, that one, anger is there, it's fine. And then second was like, I realized that if I'm in a situation where I'm not able to communicate to the level I wish to communicate, then that also used to lead to anger. That is where I kind of realize that there are various stimulus which will lead me to anger, and That was the upgrade from not acknowledging it at all to being able to acknowledge and know that okay, XYZ person could bring up, or XYZ event could bring up that kind of anger in my life. So at this point, I think I also got addicted to gaming. Like I play this game called Clash Royale, and that is where I used to be like, okay, I am just fighting this competitive battle, and if I used to lose, that used to make me like go crazy. And yeah, that's how I broke some of the phones. When I knew that these are the situation wherein I react very strongly, one option was to limit the access to those situations. Like in this case, I kind of restricted my game usage only, as you might have seen from my other videos that I have restricted apps, and that is where the access to this game was also reduced, so that I don't reach the point where I'm so agitated that I can't handle it, right? So that is where the limiting factor has helped me quite a bit, and also the fact that now I personally feel that whatever emotions have been stored, it's better to get them out rather than them being stored in your body. There is this theory that the negative emotion gets stored in your body and they come up as disease, right? That is something I would not want to have as I grow older. So I would rather get all these negative feelings or reasons for anger to be out right now, where I could handle it logically and emotionally. Now my approach has changed quite a bit. Like, so when anger shows up and I've had an anger episode, I'm actually thankful to it, because I personally feel that that was something which was stored and it is a part of cleansing process. Because let's say if you have eaten something bitter, and in case you vomit it out to get it out of your system, you will feel the bitterness. So let's say when anger which was stored in my body, if it is coming out, I'm actually thankful to it for showing up, because that means I'm cleansing in a way. And if you've seen my recent videos, there is this nice Buddhist meditation technique which I found recently. As you know that I'm fan of acronyms now, so this technique goes by the name RAIN. So RAIN stands for recognize. So first step of anger management could be recognizing that okay, you are having anger, and where are you feeling it? How is it affecting your breath? Are you feeling it in your heart? Which body part does it affect the most? Are you getting headaches or something? So you start recognizing those factors wherein you experience it in terms, without judging it, obviously you are experiencing it in your body, and you try to realize that where it is kind of stored. As I said, like your unresolved emotion gets stored in your body. So the second thing is allowing the experience to happen. So if you're having an anger issue, as I said, like I don't really hurt anyone, so any human being. So as far as you're not doing that, you can allow the experience to happen totally, that, and be an observer in that situation. So that is something which helped me, and as I said, like now I'm thankful for the experience to happen. And then comes I part, which is investigate. I've been talking about this thing about being kind to yourself. So when you investigate anything, be kind to yourself, don't be too judgmental, because as I said, when you are experiencing one negative emotion, lot of times other negative emotions pile up, and the whole experience could be even worse compared to if you were addressing only single emotion, right? Anger could be associated with anxiety, it could be fear, shame. You might experience a lot of things around it. So that is where the investigation has to be with kindness. Give yourself all the love you can at this point. And then the end part is like natural awareness. You kind of not identify with the experience, in the sense that let's say if I'm experiencing anger, that doesn't make me a bad person, because 99% of time I might be a happy, helpful person, but that 1% of time if I'm angry, that does not define my personality. That's something I follow nowadays, that I am not that emotion. Like I am experiencing that emotion, but I am not that emotion, and that has helped me isolate the anger from me, as in, because each of us are evolving day by day if we choose to. So that is where this awareness helps quite a bit, that you are not that person. And the same goes when I evaluate other people also nowadays, because if 99% of time they could be super nice person, but I could hold on to that 1% though, that oh, this person is super angry person, and that could become my opinion about them, which is not so true, right? They are not that emotion. So this helped me deal with people also in a nicer and easier way. So yeah, that is how my anger journey has been recently. And I got my iPhone in March 2023 and the screen is still intact. So yes, I have progressed quite a bit. And yes, if you have experienced any journey around negative emotions and how you're dealing with it, so do drop that in comments. And if you want to talk about something else, mention it. And yes, usual, like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.